Sense last up here. I'm really looking forward to this discussion. So we'll be discussing a number of elements around the creative and entrepreneurship sector with the acting president. TIME, is a brand where we've interviewed more US presidents than any other media brand, and we have a reputation of not having hit pieces and not having puff pieces either. We ask conversational questions, and we try and make sure we stick to strong editorial guidelines. And obviously we want to make sure that through this conversation that we can elucidate some of the future of Botswana and some of the future endeavours that engulf creativity and entrepreneurship. So I'd like to invite Mr. Acting President to the stage so we can continue our discussion. Testing. Hear this?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Acting President, once again, thank you very much for taking the time to have this discussion with us at TIME. I think the first place we'd really like to start is on the entrepreneurship and creative sector as a whole in Botswana. As we talked about in our briefing before, you've had such a stable market. You've been able to utilize your natural resources in a positive fashion. And now there's more excitement around Botswana, arguably than ever before. How is this going to serve the creative and entrepreneurship sector going forward in the vision of your current administration?
Well, good morning to you, Josh. Good morning to everyone here today. It's a privilege to be here. I'm very grateful to see so many people yearning to hear about our journey as Botswana. Well, let me start, before I even answer the questions, let me start by saying I believe there is no place as beautiful as Botswana. I believe that there is no place under the sun in the universe with as beautiful our golden sunrises and our golden sunsets, no place under the sun as beautiful as our Okavango and the egret birds and the heron birds, no place as beautiful as Botswana with our savanna lands and our baobab trees, with our elephants and our leopards. No place as beautiful as Botswana with our songs and poetry and the smiles of our people and the way they walk, the way they sing, the way they do things. So I believe this beauty gives us something to share with the world. We have so much to share with the world. We want the world to be part of this beauty. And one thing that I have come to learn is that the answers to the existential questions of the day, the future of our people, is not with government and has never been with government. It's with the people. The people understand where they want to go. They understand what they want to do. They have a mastery of who they are, and what the government's role is to handhold the people to bring out the best in themselves. That is really our role to bring out the best out of our people. So we will talk about how we intend to do that as Botswana, or as the new Botswana.
And I think that's a really great place to start, because there's obviously a massive scope and push for diversification as it comes to Botswana. In fact, I would argue it's been a trigger word. It's something that has been a constant scope of conversation in Botswana for many, many years, to move away from diamonds, to move away from being more of a mono-industry country, and to have that diversification plug-in. When you look at the current ecosystem of the creative and entrepreneurship sector, where does that sit within your diversification strategy, and how important is it?
I think the starting point is that every nation, every community, every family has to start with its true north, clarity on where it wants to go. And the true north that Botswana has established for itself is that Botswana and the people of Botswana are saying that they want to be a high income economy that is diversified, that is digitally driven, that is export-oriented, in which every citizen is employed, every citizen is empowered, and every citizen is fulfilled. That's the starting point. Now, what is it then that we need to do, and where does the creative, what role does the creative play in that? Well, first of all, we have been a mono economy, excessively dependent on diamonds. So our true north says we need to diversify. And you cannot diversify without the creative sector. The creative sector has this special thing where it knows how to unearth value and unearth talent, unearth processes, unearth beautiful things about ourselves that for some reason we haven't been able to unearth. The creative sector assists us to make the best use of that which we unearth. If it means that we must master how we beneficiate or polish our diamonds, or turn our diamonds into jewelry, how we should use our flowers and our trees to manufacture medicines, unique medicines, medicines with high potency. So I asked one of our great entrepreneurs, or one of our great creatives, I asked him, what is it that you are looking for in any government systems? And this is what he says. He says, the first thing is, we already know what we want to do, so we want to be facilitated. And by facilitation is that there are people that we want to be introduced to in the United States, in Asia. All we need is for you to knock on doors on our behalf, make the appointments for us. That's the first thing. And then the second, he says to me, we want to be invited to the high tables. We want to be invited where the decisions are made. We want to be invited to the tables that help us become informed about what opportunities are available that we can tap on. We want to be at the table so that we can also steer the ship towards where we want to go. The third, he says that we want to be endorsed. When you travel to Asia, or travel to other parts of Africa, or travel to the United States, We want you to say to the people that you meet, this is our man, this is our lady, so that we are credible when we do the things that we want to do. So that is one angle of looking at it. But in terms of what needs to be done to help bring out the best out of our creative sector, a number of things. The first is that we need to build the infrastructure. And infrastructure takes many forms. There is the need to build the digitalization ecosystem, which is lagging in this country. It is not just about building the digitalization or technology infrastructure, but even the physical infrastructure. We need to find optimal ways of building studios, music studios, diamond cities, unique museums that the whole world would want to be. So physical infrastructure as well. The other thing that we need to do is we need to make finance and funding available. And it is not just about making finance and financing available, it's making the right type of funding and financing available. Traditionally, the type of funding that has been available has been a one-size-fits-all. You know, the type of funding you need to build property is mainly debt capital, it's loan capital. And this is what the system has been making available to our artists, loan capital. And there is no way that you can fund the creative sector through loan capital. So what we are doing now is we are adapting our systems so that we have the right type of funding for creatives, a mixture of equity capital, of grants. That's one place. The other is that, of course, we have archaic laws and archaic regulatory frameworks that fail to remunerate and that fail to monetize our IP. So we need to catch up with the world so that our artists, so that our creatives are recognized for their IPs, they are properly remunerated for their IP, it's protected and it's monetized. The other thing that we need to do is the best form of empowerment in any generation and in any ecosystem is education. There is nothing more powerful than education and knowledge. So in addition to ensuring that our system has a very high quality overall education system, we also need an education system that is true to bringing out the best out of our creatives. And that education system needs to entail, we need to have a society of problem solvers, a society of managers, people who can manage, a society of entrepreneurs. So you need a particular type of education system that is true to bringing out the best out of our creatives. We need mentorships. Experience is the best teacher. So there is no better place to learn and develop your mastery other than from the people who have done it themselves and succeeded. So we need to create the ecosystems for mentorship programs for understudy. So that is very important. But we also need to create the right type of mindset. You know, mindset is almost everything. You cannot become the best in the world if you do not believe yourself that you have what it takes to be the best in the world. So we need to cultivate and nourish our mindset in a way that our own people believe in themselves. They believe that they can be the best, not just in Botswana, the best not just on the African continent, but the best in the world. We need to celebrate our own beauty. We need to cherish our own beauty, our own musicians, our own poets. We need to celebrate them. We need to cherish them. We need to celebrate our own entrepreneurs and must not bring each other down. You know, sometimes, simply because people, every society should loathe corruption, okay? But in that loathing of corruption, we must not allow ourselves to be prisoners of the mentality that those who succeed and those who become billionaires and millionaires, we must not celebrate. Right? So when our young people and when our people succeed and they become highly successful, they become international rock stars and millionaires and billionaires, the starting point should not be, who gave them that favor or where did they steal that money. The starting point should be, wow, we need to celebrate our own. We need to celebrate. So those are some of the things that I believe that is the ecosystem that we need to build as Botswana, that we need to build as a people. Once we have an ecosystem that has all those elements that are able to bring out the best out of our people. As I say, we have what it takes, our people have what it takes, but we need to build the ecosystem to bring out the best out of our people.
So we were talking before in regards to, there's an artist, a Botswana artist, who sold an $8 million piece in the US. You have an amazing example of Botswana that founded Kaya Radio. Also, there are amazing examples of entrepreneurship from this country, all over the place. And so I'd like to actually just touch on that bit. It's something you mentioned that I think is quite powerful and quite important. Post-apartheid, when Nelson Mandela had the TIME Investment Corporation, he set up Kaya Radio, they had their money, right? So they had to use a lot of barter agreements to go, set something up and create a successful media outlet, media station. What would you then say, in your dual role as Minister of Finance as well, for creatives that are pushing into the industry? When you're coming into the industry, it's very, very difficult, sometimes to then make that start and to then create traction, What would you say to those types of individuals that have to then find mentors, that have to go through that path? Because the reliance can't strictly be on government, as you elucidated. It has to be on them. What would you say to people, in that regard also?
One of the, ever since we were elected into leadership by the people of Botswana, one of the great privileges of the job, if any, is that now whenever I see all these high achievers, whether they are athletes or celebrities, I have the excuse to call them. I actually take the time, and I want to be able to call everyone every single one of them, not only to celebrate them and to encourage them, but to say to them that the government is there, it's available for you. This is your government. So you tell us which doors have been closed for you. So as a government system, we are available to hand-holding and opening doors on behalf of these creatives. But we need to do it at a systemic level. And this young minister here, Minister Kilebe, we have put him under tremendous pressure to develop these ecosystems where we open doors and encourage collaboration. The second, of course, is that you talk about my role as a Minister of Finance. Can I tell you something about being a Minister of Finance?
Yes, sir.
Should I tell you something about being a Minister of Finance? When you're a Minister of Finance, don't tell them I told you this. I mean, the cabinet people, you are the most unpopular man in cabinet meetings. So I am immensely unpopular in cabinet. I am unpopular because all the ministers are under pressure to deliver, and they want and need money to deliver. But I say to them that it's about the money. You know, it's not about the money. It's also, as I said, it's also about knowing where to find the right type of money. You would be surprised. They are wealthy institutions and wealthy individuals around the world that have so much money, they don't know what to do with it. In fact, they have so much money that they are looking for novel ideas and novel initiatives and beautiful initiatives that they can be associated with. So one of the things that we are doing as the new government is we are finding all this money around the world that is available, that we don't have to pay for, that people want to, you know, when people invest, what they want in return is not always money. Sometimes people invest because what they want in return is fulfillment. What they want in return is being associated with something great. So part of what we're doing is making this type of funding available. And also the way we have been structuring, the way we dole out money, give businesses, it has been one size fits all. It has been loan capital, same application forms. It has been throwing money. So the new model is different, and it's going to be different in a number of ways. In Botswana, we have what are called Bommeba Motshelo. Okay? So Bommeba Motshelo is that what it's about is that Botswana has a culture of women coming together as a community of women to encourage each other. And part of that encouragement entails funding each other for initially small-scale projects, poultry projects, paying school fees for kids. So they loan out money to each other, and these women have the lowest default rates, lower default rates than the best banks in the world. And these women will tell you that we can loan out money to this lady Mago Masego. Mago Masego means Masego's mom. We can loan money to Masego's mom because we know her, she's trustworthy, she all pays back. This lady here, Mago Tiro's mom. We're not loaning any money to Tiro's mom because she never pays. So when people come together as cooperatives and they develop a relationship among themselves and they know each other and they nourish each other and they cultivate each other, they are also able to create a financial ecosystem. Now, we have financial initiatives by the government, citizen economic, Citizen Entrepreneurial Development Agency, Botswana Development Agency. We throw money at them. They have very high defaults. Why not give money to the women who have low default rates, who know each other and know each other's capabilities and capacity? Why not give money to cooperatives? And why not also precede money? You know, in Botswana, you throw money at people first, and then after you give them money, then you think about training them to manage that money properly. So why not precede, right? Training people how to use the money, training people how to partner and find partnerships, grooming people on entrepreneurship, and then throw money to them when they are ready, when they are nourished. So we are moving towards that new model, a new ecosystem. It entails a lot of tweaking at the funds that we already have, tweaking at our training programs, tweaking at our development funds. So all of these is in recognition of the need to build an ecosystem that brings out the best out of our creatives.
And on that point, you know, women have been the backbone of this continent for a very long time, and without the proper recognition in doing so. And you brought up the informal sector as it pertains to finance. How difficult then is it to switch from the formal structure that you have now to an informal structure such as that? I know your government is so progressive and it's pushing out these amazing initiatives. Changing something to that degree that works, and it's been shown to work, and you have the data to back it up. How difficult then is it to make those adjunctive changes that people may look at as risky if they hadn't seen the data? How difficult is that from your position?
Well, you know, Rome was not built in one day. And every path, there are always different paths for achieving our aspirations. But what is clear is that, you know, in the past we had the luxury of having dialectics and debating about the need to diversify the economy. It was a luxury. It was an intellectual nice to have because we had the diamonds then. But with the diamonds dried out and with the markets plummeted as they are, it is now an existential issue. We diversify or we perish. And so in a sense, the drying out of the diamond market, I believe, has been in a way a blessing in disguise, because it has forced us to do things that we otherwise wouldn't have been inclined to do. But the things that we are doing now, the things that we are being forced to do, we have no choice but to do them. the things that we do, have no choice but to work. If they don't work, we will make them work. We will make them work. So yes, it's